I suppose it's all public information, but
With our mics on, now everybody. Dan.
Well,
Man,
it's gonna be some real
It's
good.
a private joke.
do you want a name tag?
At this point, I think I need one.
I couldn't resist.
we actually do now, but we don't, we
Oh, that's right,
have
we
to be
only need
unanimous.
4.
We
Yeah,
need
that's
4,
right, we only
yeah.
need 4. I keep forgetting that.
But Cindy's on her way.
Yep.
Yeah, she'll be here. And 4 is a quorum, so we could get started.
You got 30 seconds.
Mine's up on the second.
Yep, same here.
Oh. I turned mine off, so.
Still got my computer. Gotta stand up. And he's sorted, eh?
There's Cindy.
Well,
Made it.
Somehow I missed the change there.
Mike, I'll take the
Got it now.
It'll be kind of that way for the next couple of months anyhow, probably.
If you all rise, I'll call this common council meeting to order, and we'll start off with the invocation by Diane Quantz. Thanks, Diane.
As we come to the end of this fiscal year, we just are grateful and thankful that we've been able to serve our community in this way throughout the year. We ask that you be with all of our first responders and all of our public works people that work around the clock during inclement weather to keep us safe and to allow us to travel to the homes and places that we want to go. And we thank you for the families that also sacrifice during this time when their loved ones are on call or are called out away from celebrations. We ask that you keep each person that works for the city safe during this time. We ask that you keep our community safe. And we thank you that we are able to gather tonight to finish the business of the year and be ready to start a new year. Amen.
Thank you, Diane. Pledge of allegiance. I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Be seated. For the record, Lynn, Mike Clonderis is absent. Josh Finch is absent, and legal is absent for the record.
Thank you.
Good to see Cindy. Good. The first item here that we have is the approval of the minutes from our last council meeting. November 17th.
Having reviewed the minutes, I'd make a motion that we approve them as submitted.
I'll second it.
Motion to approve along with a second. Call for the vote. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed, nay. The ayes have it. Thank you. I welcome our visitors. I was going to say welcome, Gary, and then you ran out. Now you're coming back in, so welcome. Good to see you and Brian and Bruce and Chief back there. So, Gary, keep an eye on him back there for me. So welcome, everybody. The first item, I'd ask Brian to come up and share with us. I'm also going to do the best I can with technology and see if I can't get a guest, Mike, to...
Well, while he's working on that, this is a presentation about a lateral warranty or insurance type of a program. Little history on how we got here. We've looked at different lateral insurance programs over the years. Clear back, James Emmons and I studied a few communities around us. South Bend has a pretty good one. there's always pros and cons to each one we've looked at. This is one Mike Chambers presented to me. I thought it might be a solution if we want to pursue a lateral insurance program. I shared it with the mayor, and I think Jack, maybe you looked at it and thought we'd at least bring it to the council and get your opinion of it. Some of the issues with some of the laterals around town is the ones on Winona Avenue where they are N25. That's very expensive if they have to dig and replace their lateral. The homeowner's responsible from our main line, the tap to the house is the homeowner's responsibility. Some of these sewers run down the edge of the street, and the people on the opposite side of the street have to dig clear across the road to do these repairs, and they can get very costly. So this is an option. I kind of wanted to get Mike to present, show it to you. I'll come back up at the end of it and talk about what we may want to do next, if that's all right.
I
With
really
that-
appreciate Brian's efforts. Again, I think it was about a year ago, like he had talked about, presenting this. We then eventually listened to Mike. Jack, you were there, and I just appreciate you bringing this back to us before the end of the year. What got my attention in the summer, and I did put it in your agenda notes, is AIM got a hold of us in June and actually said that this would be something good for all cities in Indiana to consider. And it came from the president, Matt Growler, and that got my attention. And then we talked a month or two later and said, let's make sure we get it in before the end of the year. So Brian, thank you. And I'm hoping, Mike, can you hear me?
I can. Can you guys hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. That's great. The council, Mike has your slide presentation. You may or may not be able to see what I have up on the deck, but I was hoping that similar to what you did when you visited with us earlier in the year, what is this program again? What would it look like? And if Jeff Gross, Mayor of Warsaw, resident in the city, would like to take advantage of this, how would I find out about it? And what steps would I have to take as a resident? Thank you, Mike.
Sure thing. Thank you very much. I appreciate you and the council inviting me here tonight. Appreciate Brian's efforts and the work with staff. Just kind of want to give you an overview of the National League of Cities Service Line Program and basically how it can help the residents. My name is Mike Chambers. I work with HomeServe. We're the administrators of this program. And through our program, we work with cities and municipalities all across the country to make our service line warranty products available for your residents. This is a program that is enforced by the National League of Cities, as well as we're a corporate partner with AIM as well. And we've been working with the National League of Cities since 2010. We currently have about 1,300 communities across the country participating, including about 40 there in Indiana. And the reason that AIM and the communities have gotten involved with this program is everyone kind of understands that infrastructure is getting older and older, especially when it comes to water and sewer lines. And one of the big issues is while the cities and the towns are doing their part to maintain those main water and sewer lines in the street, you have these miles and miles of lines that connect to that system that a lot of times they don't get any attention until there's an issue. And that's those residents, lateral service lines. And pretty much everywhere we go, we hear the same story. A resident will have a frozen water line that breaks, or a lot of times their sewer line collapses or even gets clogged with tree roots. First thing they do is call the city. You have to send someone out there making sure that the line in the street's working properly. And typically it is because you're doing the maintenance and the upkeep on those lines. And that's when it kind of puts you in the bad situation where you're the bearer of bad news. Mr. and Mrs. Resident found the issue. It's your lateral line that's causing the problem. And a lot of times residents can become upset because they don't even realize they're responsible for these buried lines that run from their house to the connection. And even the residents who do realize they're responsible, they don't have the $6,000, $7,000, $8,000 it can cost to dig it up and replace it. So that's kind of where our program comes in. First off, it's an education program. We do a free public awareness campaign to all the homeowners there in the community, letting them know these lines are their responsibility. Give them some tips on what they can do to keep things working properly, don't put grease down their drains, that sort of thing. And then also allow them, if they choose, to purchase a warranty to cover these lines should something happen. Now, the nice part for the city, it's a fully turnkey program. We handle all the marketing, all the billing, all the customer service, all the claims. There's no cost or anything for the city to participate in the program as well. Now, as for your residents, the nice part too is that the city does decide to participate in this program. It's nothing that's forced on the residents. It's nothing that they, have to take. It doesn't get added to their water or sewer bill or anything like that. It simply becomes a program that's available, and should they want to protect themselves, they can. We will make 3 products available for your residents. The first is the external water line coverage. That's going to cover their whole water line from where it enters the home all the way up to the city's connection, whether that's the curb stop or the main. That's going to cover leaking lines, broken lines, slow running lines, frozen lines, pressure. They can basically any disruption in their water. There's no deductible on that program. There's also no service fees. We don't do any pre-inspections, so everybody's eligible to enroll no matter what type of material they have in their line or anything like that. The second product that we offer is the external sewer line coverage. That's going to cover the residents' full sewer line from right into their home all the way up to the main. And the nice part about that is not only will that cover a full replacement of the line, all the way up to the street, but it also covers simple things. Something gets flushed down there. A lot of times there's triggers that infiltrate that. Basically, any disruption in their service, in their sewer line, is covered. And once again, no deductible or any kind of service fees. And then the final product that we offer just kind of completes the coverage. That's the in-home plumbing and drainage. That's going to cover all their water and sewer lines inside of the home, as well as your sink backups, fluid backups, basically any issue related to water or sewer that they currently also the home is covered with that. Now, when the resident has an issue, they don't need to call the city or anything like that. They make one call to us. We have a 24-hour day, 7-day-a-week US-based call center. Always answer to the live person. So they'll call in, speak with one of our agents, let them know what's going on, and file a claim. And then we dispatch the job to a local licensed plumber. That's another big benefit of the program as well. So we're only going to use contractors from there in your city to do the work. A couple reasons we do that. First off, you're working with us, local businesses are getting the benefits from it. But more importantly, we understand that when somebody has a leaking water line or their sewer line is backed up, that's not something they can wait a day or 2 days, to have somebody come out and repair. So by using local contractors, we're able to get them out there as soon as possible, and then also make sure that everything is fixed the way the city wants. All permits are pulled, go through that, all that sort of thing. Now, as for the way we make the residents aware of the program, I always get the question, our residents can get phone calls and things like that. We never do any kind of telemarketing. All aspects of the program are done through a direct mail educational letter. Typically, we send that out usually in the spring and in the fall. Before we ever mail that to the residents, so we provide it to the city. You have an opportunity to review it, make sure you're happy with all the language that's in it, because it will say, home survey and the city want to make you aware that this program is available for the residents. So once that's approved by the city, you put your input on it, and we'll go ahead and send that out to all the residents. They'll receive it. There'll be our 1-800 number on there if they want to call in and ask questions and sign up that way, or they can go on our website, where there'll also be a postage paid envelope there. They can just tear that off and send it back to us so that they can sign up for the program. As I said, we've been doing this since 2010. Just in the past 3 years alone, we fixed over 1.2 million lines, saving residents over $500 million. The program is A-rated with the Federal Business Bureau. And then we also do a customer satisfaction survey to every resident that files a claim. And this will ask questions basically, how was the contractor, was everything put back in place? Were you satisfied with the repairs? And currently, based on 5 stores, we have a 4.8 rating out of 5 throughout the entire country. And then we use those ratings basically for our contractors, the ones that, do the best work, have the higher ratings. They're the ones that are going to get the repairs first. So yeah, that's kind of the highlights of the program. Just like to answer any questions for you.
Do any of the council members, the slide deck again, and then the endorsement letter from Matt Greller, and then also Brian, again, just coming to me, and again, like I said a few minutes ago, presenting this might be something the council would want to consider for the community. Mike, and you correct me if I'm wrong, but what got my attention was 2 summers ago, the house I own, my dad now lives in it, I had almost a $3,000 sewer line that broke. And I'll never forget my dad saying, it's okay, I can take care of it, but I don't know how people could afford fixing these kinds of things. And then it was 6 months later, Brian came to me. I didn't even ask. You just came in and said, hey, Jeff, something to think about. We were going through different topics. What got my attention is when we visited Mike, you heard him say no deductible. It's optional. You can sign up anytime without any inspections, and also they're not on the phone calling. It's through mail. Residents would know, though, Mike, that the city of Warsaw is saying, we believe this is something that every resident should consider as they take a look at it, that soft endorsement. And then if I wanted to, as a resident, what got my attention to, we would not have to manage it. It would be everything through HomeServe. It would be nothing that we're doing. But it could save residents living in, my dad again, in Hodges Addition, in older neighborhoods with aging infrastructure. So again, did I say, Mike, are you okay with what I was saying?
That's exactly right, Mary. Going back to like the endorsement, we really leave that up to the city of how you want to do that. We have some that, it's a big issue in their community. They really want their residents to really look at it and, take advantage of it, so they'll do a harder, endorsement. We have some that just want to introduce the residents. That's why we always provide a letter to you first, so that you have an opportunity to put your input on it and, how strong you want to do that. So.
Thank you. Any questions for Mike or Brian?
Yeah. Is each program separate, like you can choose which one you want to sign up for?
Yeah, that's correct. We keep everything separately because we know some residents, maybe you just have your sewer line replaced and that's not something you're gonna, you need. But we'll make all three products available separately. We do, if residents take a water and sewer line, combo, they will get a discount. It's 10%, 10% off the monthly cost.
Hey,
Many
Mike.
of our residents don't have water or on wells, so that's why I was asking.
Yeah, sure.
Mike, could you review some of the pricing a little bit also?
Sure thing. So that's the nice part too, is everybody in the state of Indiana gets the same rate. So we don't, go out and inspect and do any kind of measurements of lines or anything like that. The water line coverage was $5.99 per month. The sewer line coverage was $13.99 per month. And then the in-home plumbing and drainage was $15.99 per month. And then residents can pay that however they choose. Some residents can send us a check every month to cover that. Others will put a credit card or debit card on file and do an automatic deduction. Or some residents will pay the whole year in advance and do it that way. The nice part too for your residents is there's no contract to sign. So say they did pay a year in advance and 6 months in, they decide they don't want the program, they can cancel at any time and receive a refund for anything that hasn't been used.
Any other questions? I wasn't, Brian and I aren't seeking action. We just felt like end of the year, and again, I really appreciate you helping me through this. We just wanted to give you the information and communities hearing it, so I appreciate the media sharing. And then maybe consideration as we head into the first part of next year, would this be something that we would want to do? Do we want to take the next steps?
So what would be required for us as a council to do? Or as a city to do?
I don't know, there is a letter help me out, Mike, what does the city need to do? There's like an endorsement agreement we need to sign, and that's pretty much it, if I'm correct.
Yeah, we call it a bargaining agreement. That just gives us the right to mail it to the community. I think I provided that to you, Brian. If not, I'll make sure that gets out and you can pass that around to everybody. But it basically says, nothing will be mailed to your residents without your prior approval, all that, the city's indemnified from everything. So it's just kind of that language. So that's the only thing we need on our end. Typically, a council will pass a resolution allowing the mayor or administrator to sign that agreement. And then that comes back to us, and then we put everything in place for you. Get the marketing letter out to you so you can review it, in a timely manner. So that's really the only thing we need on our end.
We do have that marketing agreement, we just didn't include it because that's not what we were seeking tonight. I just wanted to let you see it and sort of get your opinion on it. And
Now, if we endorse HomeServe, does that prevent residents from seeking their own company they wanted? It does not. It does not.
No, sir,
Okay.
it's a non-exclusive agreement, so, residents can still sign up, however, if there is anybody else that can sign up through, they're welcome to. So this is just an option, where it becomes another option that they can enroll in, to seek coverage.
You know, Brian has talked to me, and he's talked to us countless times. Many people, the education component, they do not understand their responsibilities with water and sewer lines. This endorsement, or as we assist them, it would be educational. Also, residents, instead of just something in the mail, they would hear it through the media. They might see it on a bill as we try to make sure the message is out there, but it would be totally optional, and people could do whatever they want, but it would, I hope, it would be something that would build trust, and they would say this is legitimate if they wanted to go this direction. And Mike, you said the water line is just over $5 a month, so we're talking $60 a year for that protection. And then if I heard you right, the sewer line is, was it, how much was
I think
this?
that's
$13.99.
So 14, so you're talking, what, 140, about $160, $170 a year for the insurance. And sometimes these sewer lines, again, back to my dad, can be thousands and thousands of dollars for residents. So just that education component. And Brian, I mean, you've run into residents
Oh,
your
sure.
entire career. What's your reaction to me talking here?
Well, for two things. One, I think last year we had 40-ish call-outs. There was only maybe 5 that were the city's issues. The rest were residents' issues. We had a resident on 25 last year, and it was going to be so expensive if they had to dig out into the road. Luckily, they were able to find good enough pipe to reconnect to, but that line under 25 is old clay pipe, potential to fail. So there's some real benefits to this program from the city's aspect. We pretty much have no involvement in it if we decide to go this route. Some of these local towns, South Bend's a good example, they run their own program, but you have to be in it. You don't have the option. It's a little bit lesser charge every month, but it's 100% participation. You have zero option whether you participate or not participate. That's how they keep their rates lower, I guess you would say. And then there's basically at least 1 or 2 city staff that does nothing but administer this program, where this is handled all through Mike and the service line program that they have.
For me, the optional was very attractive, and then also, as you know, some of us on this council, we live in older homes within the city. Others of us on this board do not. We have newer homes, and so with the newer homes, with newer infrastructure, it's a 2-year-old or 3-year-old home. Should they be responsible for paying into it, whether they want to or not, to potentially protect older or aging infrastructure? I was uncomfortable with that, but as Brian said, many cities have gone that route. I just felt like, as Mike presented, it's optional. There's no deductible. When you want to go in, you go into the program. When you want to leave, you go. And also, there's nothing that we have to do as a city. It's just one of many options a resident could take, but they're aware of the fact that the city of Warsaw is saying, we believe, along with countless other cities I have up on the deck there, this could be something you might want to consider.
I probably live in one of the oldest houses on this thing. And we did have sewer problems. It's been, I don't know, 20 years ago maybe. What happened was when they was boring these cables down and had their lines for I don't know what they all filled it up. Anyway, they bored right through the pipe. And it kept plugging up, and I had the company come out and clean it out once or twice, and finally they sent a camera down through there to see what was wrong. They just found that cable bored through there. Well, that cable company finally paid me back quite a few bucks because it cost us a lot of money.
Right.
But it was my house and the house next door to me. They both went into the same
Right.
channel to get out to the sewer line.
Mike, I won't hold you to it, but if a resident like Jerry, somebody hit it and was frustrated, what steps, if any, would you guys take?
Yeah, so that's the nice part too, is, with the no service fee, so you could call us, we would send a contractor out there instead of you having to pay, a $150 fee, just having them come out and look at the camera line. You can get us to come out and camera the line for you, see what's going on with it. Like I said, we typically don't find that it is on the city's responsibility, but if it did, that's something we would come out and alert the city. If there was some other kind of issue, we would do that. So that's the nice part about the program too, is all the routine stuff. You just need somebody to come out there and clean out your lines, come out and see, what's going on with it. So,
I know legal's not here tonight, but I would like to know what liability we would have in endorsing a program if a resident is not pleased with the services.
Mike, did you hear that question?
I did. So there's no liability for the city. That's actually what the agreement does. It indemnifies the city from anything. We also have a very strict contractor program that we make sure they're licensed and insured. So if anything happened, on their end, they're insured first, and then we're also, licensed and insured. And the one thing I can tell you, we've been doing this. I've been actually with the company since the beginning, so for over 16 years. And we tend to err on the side of the resident. So a lot of times we might even fix things that we probably shouldn't. We could probably, say that's not something. Because for us, we want to make sure that your residents are happy, so that they are, positive to the city, so that you'll, like that list of cities you have up there, you can contact them and kind of get their, opinion on it. We want to make sure all of our city partners are happy, because that's the only way, we grow the program. It does not benefit us at all to have an unhappy customer come back on the city and say, hey, this company didn't do what they said they were going to.
Is there any kind of legal disclaimer or anything that goes out on the letters so that?
Yeah, on the letter it says, this program is, whatever kind of language the city wants to introduce, but then it'll say something basically like, this is a third-party company that's administering the program, call them, if there's any issues, all that sort of things.
And I think that would be really important in this litigious society.
May offer that. And then again, it was, the National League of Cities supporting this. And then again, Brian and I were talking in June or July when Ames sent the letter out to all municipalities saying that this should be seriously investigated. Whether it's this company or not should be investigated. But then Matt Greller said this is somebody that is a trusted, reputable company. So. Good questions. Any other questions? Seeking no action, but wanting to educate. And Mike has been so patient with us and has helped us through the process. But I thought maybe I'd get it out to the community and let you guys consider it, and then we'll revisit this early next year if you want to. Any other questions? Brian, any other comments?
No, I guess my only question is, is this something you want to think about? I kind of thought maybe after speaking with the mayor, maybe the second meeting in January, sounds like the first one's got a big docket maybe, but come back then and just get your thoughts, give you some time to think about it. You can call me with any questions. If I can't answer them, I can send emails to Mike and get them answered for sure.
Mike maybe could put together some of the paperwork and what it would look like and give us a little bit more information to consider in late January, early February. If you want, would you like him to take those steps, or and we could consider it then, or?
I think so.
Yeah.
Okay.
I would like to hear from our city attorney as well, just to make sure that we're covered on this. It's, to me, I don't see where the city would be held responsible, but then you're always told that people ask you for advice of who could, say, tow my car. You want to give them 2 or 3 and let them choose, just to make sure you're out of any kind of firing range if that tow truck drops your car. I agree that this is something that our citizens should be totally aware of. And they should look into options to do one thing or another, go with one company or another, or not do anything at all. You know, it's totally up to them. And so, because of that, I probably won't get into the back and forth of, well, how much does it cost, you know, and those would be personal questions I would ask if I wanted to do it myself. The other option of the city doing it, I think we've run a few numbers, and I think it would be cheaper for people, but the downside to that is everybody has to do it, and then you're taking their choice away from them. And I don't like that either. I probably like that even less than taking another route. So those are just some of my thoughts going forward, and I would encourage Scott to be, or let me say the city attorney, to be very much into the disclaimer that going forward, to make sure that he's an active part of that, just to make sure.
Well, what I'll do then is I'll ask Brian and Mike to put together more documents for us. I'll ask legal to go through it. You guys will get it in plenty of time, and then Mike, we might have you back again in late January, early February with all of that, documents that you can share with council. I appreciate you've shared it with my office and we've talked about it, but I appreciate you being here with us publicly. And I think if I'm reading it right, the council, Brian, they want you to move forward and work with Mike to get a little more information for us.
Yep, we can get that information
Yeah.
and send it to the city attorney and
Okay,
work
good.
on bringing it back.
Good. Really appreciate, Mike, again, you sharing, and glad I got you on here. And then also, like I've said before, Brian, over a year ago, talking to department heads, being progressive, coming to me and saying, Jeff, this is something I think that should be considered, and potentially go to council. And Jack, I appreciate early on, again, about a year ago, you sitting through a couple meetings related to this. So
Yeah, I'm thankful for that as well,
Yeah.
because that gave me time to really think through some of this.
Yep. Thank you, Mike.
Thank you very much. Appreciate everyone's time tonight. You
All
guys
right.
have a great holiday. Happy New Year. And I'll talk to you after the first.
Thank you.
Same to you, Mike.
Yes, we'll see you. Bye-bye.
Brian, I really appreciate it. You got your work cut out for you, and
Yeah.
yeah.
Like I said, I just think it's something to consider. There's some-
Timing might be good too, because I wanted you to come in and give a year-end review of what life has been like out at the wastewater
Yeah, I'll
plant
try
during
and
the
do
past
that at
year.
that same meeting. and-
Yeah, it'd be great. Okay, thank you. Thanks, council, for allowing Mike and Brian to present. More to come. All right, that'll take us to reports, oral and written. The first item is the year-end investment report.
Yes, it is, for the most part. There's an investment on the 31st of December with the Bank of New York on some of our bonds there, but they just go through the U.S. Treasury, so that is whatever it is. But the one that actually generated this report is at the bottom of your page. It's number 6, and it was $1 million reinvestment from the general fund. And First Federal had the highest bid at 3.88%. And our financial advisors said the longer we go out, the better interest rate we'd probably get, so it's a 20-month CD.
Number 6, yeah, I see it, 21, okay. Any questions for Lynn? Hearing none, that'll take us to our 1782 notice for budget year 2026. I will let Lynn highlight what you're looking at here, and it's encouraging. Lynn?
So we received this
We received it,
December
yeah.
2nd or December 1st, when we had until. Yeah, July.
11 days.
And this is our second notice, because the first one they failed to put on the street department bond. So after they refigured their the rate for that and everything, we came out with a rate of 1.26, and you'll see that rate on page 5 of 5. The first 2 pages are page 1 and 2, and then it goes into your 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and so the 5th page it shows all the funds. It shows the redevelopment bond or the street department bond on there too, and actually it ended up with the highest rate. And we were just right underneath our max levy on both the fire territory and the city side. I don't think we could have gotten much closer, and we tried. So this is what it is. I responded, and now we'll just have to wait for our certified budget.
If you remember when we went through the street department proposal, there were some discussions impact on the rate, and we thought it might, if things worked out and we had a very good report heading into, for 2025, heading into 2026, that it might be 7 to 10 cents more. If you remember, this year's rate was just over $1.20, and so we're looking right now at $1.26 with that included. So considering all the things that have been happening in the economy, things that are happening down in Indianapolis, I really feel good about this. I won't speak for Lynn, but Lynn, any comments or, okay. Her help in her office, it's tremendous, working through all of this with the state. As a council member, I didn't always know that or appreciate it. Now as mayor, I greatly appreciate it even more, you taking care of these things. So, any questions from the board members? Lynn, is there any action that needs to be taken on this, or?
Nope, I've already taken the actions.
Okay.
Since we have such a short window to respond, I even asked for an extension when I responded back to them, since they failed to put in something very needed. They didn't
They
grant the
didn't.
extension either.
No, okay. She was up in my office telling me that, so, yeah, so,
Doesn't hurt to ask, right?
yeah. Any questions?
I'm just pleased that we got it down there.
No unfinished business, that'll take us to new business. Chief, you've been real patient back there. Looks like it's a transfer.
Yes, good evening. This is just a transfer from the FSSA grant, or the grant that we have for one of our CARES members, in the amount of $32,781.28 to go back into our fire territory operating fund. And working with Lynn, this was to bring the FSSA grant to a zero balance before the end of the year as well. And this was passed through the territory, or come before you with a favorable recommendation from the Territory Board that was passed on December 2nd.
Questions for the chief on this request? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to approve this resolution.
I move we approve Resolution 2025-1201.
Motion to approve, is there a second?
I'll second that.
Motion and a second, is there any further discussion? Questions? Chief, anything?
Nope.
Good. Hearing none, I'll call for the vote. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed, nay? The ayes have it, 5-0.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks, Chief. Any other matters? Council? Cindy?
Yes, I just would like to do a public thank you to Mike Lohr and his volunteers and all of the sponsors that helped with Susie McIntyre's 12th annual Country Christmas concert. It was well attended despite the weather, and who knew our Lieutenant Governor could play a mean guitar? He performed along with some of the other artists, and it was quite a nice evening. But
Good.
many thanks to Mike, because I know he works really hard on that.
Good. Many years has done that, so, thanks, Cindy. Any other matters? Any comments or questions from the public? Gary? Yeah, come on up. Thanks, Gary.
If you don't mind, two things really quick.
Come on up so we can hear you. Good. Thank you.
Thanksgiving weekend snowfall was horrible, and I'll tell you, the guys, everybody kind of got caught off guard. But I'm gonna tell you, everybody got slow out to doing it, and I'm talking about contractors and city and government things. But it was a tough snowfall, but the city did a great job, and I just want to let you guys all know that. It was a tough snowfall. The other thing, Jeff, I think you're aware of this, and I'm gonna ask personally, and I'll let the rest of you know, but I think you already know. There's a local young man that has a retail business in Fort Wayne, and he's gonna keep his business in Fort Wayne, but he's coming to Warsaw now. And he'll be having an open house and a ribbon cutting, and I think you're aware of it already. He's a Warsaw grad. But I'm hoping January, February, he's gonna have an open house, and I'm hoping maybe you guys will all come. And
February, I think it is. Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
so, thank you, Jeff.
All right, thank you. Anything else? Hard to believe, our last common council meeting for the year.
Halfway through your term.
Gee whiz, so are you guys. Can't believe it, yeah, all of us up here, but, and Cindy, sorry for the miscommunication. It now looks like this was gonna be our last meeting, but because CORE has changed their calendar, we will be here the rest of this month, all boards and commissions, and we will be in the council chambers for almost all of January. You could basically say almost all of January. It's all tentative, but, and then they will be coming in at the end of January, early February, and working on the council chambers. At that time, February, late January, 1st of February, we will be going over to the Police Department Training Center, still ready to go there, and all boards and commissions will meet there that month. And if all goes well, they'll be visiting Lynn, I know she's really excited about that, in early March. So
Perfect time to go on vacation.
there it is, all right, yeah, good. So appreciate your patience with that, and again, I apologize if any
Well,
miscommunications.
I had gotten a notice from a business owner that had sent notices out to other business owners and made a big point of saying the police department, so that
Yeah.
kind of threw me.
Okay.
So that starts January 5th, with the January 5th meeting?
Actually, it'll be February.
February,
In February.
okay.
So all of
Okay.
January,
Misheard,
all of
misheard.
January will be here in the council chambers.
Okay.
So,
Mayor, perhaps you'd like to mention the change in BOW Board of Works for January, because many of our council members like to attend. And
yeah, due to the unique calendar year, and having 5 Fridays in January, instead of meeting on January 2nd and the 16th, the Board of Works will be meeting on January 9th, same time, 10:30, and January 23rd. As soon as we head into, because of the strange calendar, as soon as we head into February, we'll be back to the 1st and 3rd Fridays. But yeah, good catch. I'd forgotten about that for the Board of Works. So Lynn actually helped catch that too about a week ago. So thank you. Anything else? Okay, hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So move.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
We are adjourned. Be safe. Thank you. Thanks, Brian.
Yeah.
Phone back on, I can
Send out
turn this
notice.
off.